In this video, I'm going to talk about Python lists. There are a few key characteristics of Python lists. One is Python list uses indices and it is indexed from 0. So first element is at index 0 and so on. And you can store multiple data types. So you can store string, numbers, floats, and other data types. And Python list is mutable, so meaning you can modify the list after you have created a list. And you can also have multiple or duplicate entries in a Python list. And it can be nested, so meaning it can contain other lists. And it is ordered, so meaning elements keep their sequence, so meaning elements have index or indices. And Python lists have built-in methods. So for example, you have append, remove, and sort, and etc. And you can also slice Python lists. So this is an example of how you can slice a list. And you can also combine lists. So you can use the symbol, the plus symbol, or you can use the extend method. And Python lists can be iterable with for loops and comprehensions. Let's get into an example or examples. So I have this netmiko code that I can use so I can demonstrate some Python list operations. So let me go ahead and copy paste this code into the IPython interactive shell. So that's how you import the class handler from the netmiko library. And I'm just creating a dictionary called Cisco device, and this represents basically the Cisco device. And this is how you establish connection. So I'm just assigning the ConnectHandler object into a variable called netConnect. So let's now talk about creating a list. So there's two ways to create a list. One is this line of code here. So let me just copy and paste this. That's one way of creating a list. So if I print this, it's empty. And this is another way of creating a list. Let me just call this Python, empty list 2. So if I print it, it's also empty. Okay, now let me create a list that contains strings. So I have 3 strings. So these strings are basically Cisco commands. So I can just copy and paste this. And if I want to know how many elements within this list, I can use the function len. So I have 3 elements within this list. And this is how you access elements in the list. So you can say the name of the list and the index of the element that you want to access. So if I print this, okay, so this is the first element or index from 0. And you can also use a negative index or value. So that's how you do that. So and it will, of course, you get the last element in the list. And this is how you add a new element or command in this case to the list. So you can use the append method. So if I let me just copy and paste. It's actually easier to just copy and paste. Okay, so we can see that I just added this command to the list, to the end of the list. And you can also remove a element from the list using the remove method. And if I now print the list is a version, show version, so it's not there anymore. And you can also use the insert method, and here I'm specifying the index that I want this string or element to be at or position. Okay, so if I just copy and paste that, so now we should see that the show running config is at index 1, which is correct. And you can also find the index of an element, and this is how you do that. You can use the index method. So index method and the element. And this element has an index of 0. And this is how you iterate through the list. So let me just copy and paste this. Okay, so looks like it's running as expected. This is not, that command is not valid. So I'm actually sending the commands show clock, and these commands are part of the list, right? Show running config, show IP interface brief, show interfaces. Wow, this is a long one. So that's how you can basically iterate through the list using a for loop. Let me actually go ahead and just print this. I mean, print the list to the console. So yeah, so show clock, show running config, show IP interface brief, and show interfaces. And of course, let me just disconnect from the device. Okay, so that's how you can create a empty list. And this is how you basically create a list with elements. So in this case, it's all string. And this is how you access elements in the list. And you can also add a new element to the list using the append method. And you can remove a element from the list using the remove method. And you can also use the insert method and specify the index that you want to add the element. I mean, the position of the element that you want to add. You can also use the index method to basically find which index the element is at. And of course, you can use the for loop to basically iterate through the list. So that's all I want to talk about in this video. Hopefully you found this video useful. If you did, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.